Hey everyone, have you ever wondered what the most awkward job in paradise would be? Well, let me tell you about the 4 months you spent working as a professional surfboard waxer on the north shore of Oahu, Hawaii. And trust me, by the end of this story, you'll understand why you can never hear the words smooth finish without cringing. This is the story of how you took what seemed like the dream job in the most beautiful place on earth and ended up in situations so uncomfortable that you still have flashbacks. And before we dive into this tropical chaos, if you're not subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button right now. Smash that like button because this story is absolutely insane. And turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our wild stories. All right, let's get into it. So here's how this whole mess started. You're living in California, working a soul-crushing office job in San Diego, staring at spreadsheets all day, and you see this job posting on a surf industry forum. Professional surfboard waxer needed for busy North Shore shop. Experience with boards required. Housing included, $3,500 a month plus tips. You've been surfing since you were a kid. You know boards, you know wax, and the idea of living in Hawaii and working with surfboards instead of Excel sheets sounds like heaven. You apply immediately. 2 weeks later, you're on a plane to Oahu with your entire life packed into 2 suitcases, ready to live the dream. You arrive at the shop, a place called Kai's Surf Shack, right on Kamehameha Highway, and meet your boss Kai, this massive Hawaiian guy covered in traditional tattoos who looks like he could snap you in half but has the warmest smile you've ever seen. He shows you around the shop, explains the deal. Surfers come in, you wax their boards before they hit the water, you maintain rental boards, you do custom wax jobs for locals and pros. Simple. He shows you the little Ohana unit behind the shop where you'll be living, basically a studio apartment with an ocean view. You can hear the waves from your bed. You think you've died and gone to heaven. Your first day on the job, you're nervous but excited. You set up your station with different types of wax, base coat, top coat, tropical formula, cool water formula, all organized perfectly. You're wearing a tank top, board shorts, and you've got your game face on. The first customer comes in around 7 a.m., a local guy named Keone who just needs a quick touch-up on his shortboard. You do the job, he's stoked, gives you a $5 tip, says shoots bruh, and heads out to the water. You think, this is perfect, this is exactly what I wanted. But then comes customer number 5 of the day. A woman, probably mid-30s, fit, blonde, clearly from the mainland based on her accent. She's got a longboard and she asks if you do full wax jobs. You say, of course, that's literally your job. She looks at you with this weird smile and says, perfect, I want the smoothest finish possible. Can you handle that? You think she's just being particular about the quality, which is fine. You take pride in your work. You say, absolutely, you'll give her the best wax job she's ever had. She laughs in a way that makes you slightly uncomfortable, but you brush it off. You start waxing her board, and she's standing right there, like uncomfortably close, watching every movement. You're applying the base coat in circular motions like you're supposed to, and she says, wow, you really know how to work it, don't you? You laugh nervously and say, yeah, it's all about the technique. She responds, I can tell, you've got good hands. Now you're definitely uncomfortable, but you keep working. You finish the base coat and start on the top coat using the bump pattern technique that creates the texture for grip. She's still watching and she says, that's quite a finish, very thorough. You hand her the board, she runs her hand over the wax pattern and says, so smooth, exactly what I needed. She pays you, gives you a $20 tip, which is generous, and as she's leaving, she says over her shoulder, I'll definitely be back for another one of your finishes. You stand there for a full minute after she leaves, replaying the conversation in your head, wondering if that was as weird as it felt or if you're just being paranoid. You decide you're being paranoid. You're in Hawaii, people are just friendly and maybe a little quirky, no big deal. But then it happens again and again. You start noticing a pattern. About half the customers, especially women, but occasionally men too, make some kind of comment about your technique or your finish or how good you are with your hands. You mention this to Kai one afternoon, and he just laughs and says, "Brah, you're the new Howley wax guy who's actually good at his job. Of course they're gonna talk story with you." You're not entirely sure that's all they're doing, but Kai doesn't seem concerned, so you let it go. Week 2 brings a new level of awkwardness. A group of 3 women in their 20s, clearly on a bachelorette trip based on the bride-to-be sash one of them is wearing, come into the shop. They want all 3 boards waxed. Great, easy money. You start working on the first board, and immediately the bachelorette group is giggling and making comments. "Oh my God, look at him work. He's so focused. Those arms, though." You try to ignore it, stay professional, keep working. The bride comes over and says, "Hey, so we were wondering, can we take a video of you waxing the board? It's for social media." You're hesitant, but Kai nods from across the shop, so you say sure. She starts recording on her phone, and her friends are in the background going, "Ooh, yeah, work that wax, and give it that smooth finish, baby," and cackling. You're dying inside, but trying to maintain composure. You finish the job, they pay you, they give you a huge tip, and they leave still laughing and recording themselves. That night, you're in your little Ohana unit scrolling through Instagram when your phone starts blowing up. Your friends are tagging you in a video. You click it. It's you waxing that surfboard, and the video is captioned, "When the surfboard waxer is fine and he gives you that smooth finish, surfing fire water emojis." The video has 10,000 views already. The comments are full of people making innuendos about waxing and finishing and your arms and asking where this shop is. You want to die. You show Kai the next morning, he laughs so hard he nearly falls over and says, "Bruh, that's good for business. You famous now." And that's when your life gets really weird, because now people are coming to the shop specifically because they saw the video. They want the hot waxer guy to do their boards. You're getting requests by name. People are asking to take pictures with you. You're basically a meme. Kai is thrilled because business has tripled. You're mortified because you can't do your job without someone making a comment about finishes or smoothness or your technique. One day, a professional surfer comes in, like an actual pro with sponsors and everything. You recognize him from competitions you've watched. He needs his board waxed before a session at Pipeline. You're starstruck, trying to be professional, doing your absolute best work. He's on his phone, not really paying attention to you, which is a relief. You finish, show him the board, and he inspects it carefully. Then he says, "This is actually perfect. Best wax job I've had all season. You really know how to lay it down smooth." You thank him, still starstruck. He continues, "No, really. Most people rush it, but you took your time, got into every spot, made sure the coverage was even. That's a pro finish right there." You're beaming with pride because a real pro just complimented your work. He pays you, gives you a $50 tip, and says, "I'll be back. You're the only one who can get it this smooth." After he leaves, Kai comes over and goes, "See? Even the pros note you got skills. But bruh," he's trying not to laugh, "you gotta know by now that everyone in this shop is talking about your smooth finishes for a reason, yeah?" You're confused. He explains, "Bruh, half the people coming here don't even surf. They just want to watch you work because the video made you look like, like waxing boards is sexy or something. You want to disappear into the ocean." Week 3 brings the ultimate test of your professionalism. A couple comes in. They're probably in their 40s, clearly on vacation, and they have matching rental boards. The husband says they need both boards waxed, and they'll wait. Fine, normal. You start on the first board. The wife is watching, and she keeps making little comments to her husband like, "Honey, look at his technique, and see how he does it in circles, and watch how he gets every inch covered." The husband seems oblivious, looking at his phone. You finish the first board and start on the second. Now the wife is really watching, and she says to you directly, "You must be very popular with the ladies, being so good with your hands." You freeze for a second, then laugh awkwardly and say, I just like doing a thorough job. She responds, "Oh, I can tell. Very thorough, very attentive to detail." Her husband finally looks up and goes, "Honey, what are you doing?" She innocently goes, "What? I'm just complimenting his work ethic." You finish as quickly as you possibly can. They pay and they leave. You hear her saying to her husband as they walk out, "I'm just saying he's very good at his job. Some people have a gift." You're now hyper aware of how everything you say can be interpreted as a double entendre. "I'll give you a good coat" sounds wrong. "Let me work it in really well" sounds very wrong. "I need to make sure I cover every spot" absolutely sounds wrong. You start speaking in the most technical, boring language possible just to avoid any misunderstanding. I will now apply the paraffin-based surf wax in a circular pattern to create optimal traction patterns. It doesn't help. People still giggle. By week 4, you've accepted your fate. You are the smooth finish waxer guy. You're a meme. You're a tourist attraction. The shop has a line some days, and Kai admits that maybe half these people don't actually need wax jobs. They just want to see you work. He's making so much money that he gives you a raise to $4,500 a month. You're grateful for the money, but you're also dying inside every single day. One morning, a news crew shows up, like an actual local news crew doing a segment on unique North Shore businesses. They want to interview you. You try to decline, but Kai insists. You do the interview, trying to talk seriously about the art of surfboard waxing, about different techniques for different conditions, about the importance of proper wax for safety and performance. The segment airs that evening. The headline, "North Shore's smoothest finisher talks wax jobs." You can't escape it. But here's the thing that nobody tells you about going viral for something ridiculous. It actually changes your life in unexpected ways. You've got people coming from all over the island, from other islands, even from the mainland, specifically to get their boards waxed by you. Some of them are serious surfers who actually appreciate good work. You meet pros, you meet shapers, you meet people deeply embedded in surf culture. You make connections. You learn advanced techniques from old-timers who respect your dedication to the craft. Despite all the awkwardness, you're actually becoming really good at what you do. And then, before I wrap this up, I want to ask you guys, have you ever had a job where you became known for something completely ridiculous? Or have you ever gone viral for the wrong reasons? Drop your stories in the comments because I'm dying to hear them. And if you know anyone who's been turned into a meme, tag them below. By month 3, you've developed a thick skin. When someone makes a comment about smooth finishes, you just nod and keep working. When someone asks to take a video, you pose with their board and smile. When tourists giggle while you're working, you lean into it. You start making jokes yourself. Someone asks if you can make it really smooth, you respond with, "Smooth as butter, that's what I do." The awkwardness becomes part of the routine. But there are still moments that catch you off guard. Like the day a woman in her 60s comes in, very proper, very mainland, and watches you work in complete silence. When you finish, she says in the most dignified voice, "Young man, that was the most sensual thing I've seen all vacation." You don't even know how to respond to that. You just say, "Thank you," and she leaves. You stand there for 5 minutes trying to process what just happened. Or the time a group of guys on a bachelor party come in, already drunk at 10 a.m., and one of them says, "Bro, we need you to wax our boards, but can you make it extra smooth? It's for the groom. He needs all the smoothness he can get before the wedding." The whole group cracks up. You do the boards, they tip you $100 cash, and they leave singing some song about smooth waxing that they made up on the spot. Month 4, you've been thinking about what comes next. This job has been insane, lucrative, beautiful, and deeply weird all at once. You've saved more money than you ever did at your office job. You've learned a specialized skill. You've met incredible people. You've also been turned into a viral sensation known for giving smooth finishes, which still makes you cringe when you think about it. Kai tells you that if you want to stay permanently, he'll make you a partner in the business. It's tempting.
But you've also been offered other opportunities. A surf magazine wants to do a feature on you. A board shaper in California wants you to come work for him. A surf resort in Bali wants to hire you to run their equipment maintenance. You've got options now, all because of a viral video that made you look like some kind of surfboard waxing heartthrob. You decide to stay in Hawaii for the full 4 months you originally committed to, then take some time to figure out what's next. On your last day, there's actually a line of regulars who came to get one final wax job from you. Kai throws you a small going-away party. People bring you leis, someone brings a cake that says smoothest finisher on the North Shore, and you laugh because at this point, what else can you do? You learned valuable lessons from this experience. First, viral fame is weird, uncomfortable, and completely unpredictable. Second, people will find innuendo in anything if they want to badly enough. Third, sometimes the most embarrassing situations lead to the best opportunities. Fourth, Hawaii is beautiful, but working in paradise doesn't mean the job isn't still work, and sometimes it's really awkward work. Fifth, never, ever underestimate the power of being really good at something, even if that something is waxing surfboards. Sixth, own your weird fame, because fighting it just makes it worse. You also learned about craftsmanship. Despite all the jokes and the awkwardness, you genuinely became skilled at what you did. You can look at a board and know exactly what kind of wax pattern it needs. You understand different formulas for different water temperatures and wave conditions. You've waxed boards for some of the best surfers in the world. That's actually pretty cool, regardless of how you got there. The day you leave, you're packing up your stuff in the Ohana unit, and you find the first $5 tip that Keone gave you back on day one. You'd pinned it to your wall for good luck. You look at it and think about how much has changed in 4 months. You came to Hawaii to escape a boring life, and you ended up becoming a viral sensation known for smooth finishes. It's not the story you expected to tell, but it's definitely a story. Your friends back on the mainland still give you endless shit about it. Every time someone mentions waxing anything, your group chat explodes with "Get the smooth finisher" and gifs from that original video. You've accepted that this will follow you forever. At parties, when people ask what you did in Hawaii, you have to explain that yes, you really were a professional surfboard waxer, and yes, you really did go viral for it, and no, you didn't expect any of this to happen. You've been recognized in random places. You're at a grocery store in California and someone goes, "Oh my God, are you the smooth finisher guy?" You've been on dates where the person has seen the video and wants to know if you're really that good with your hands. You've learned to laugh it off because what else can you do? You can't change what happened, you can only control how you react to it. Looking back now, a year later, you don't regret it. It was mortifying at times, yes. It was awkward, absolutely. But it was also an adventure. You lived in Hawaii. You worked at a job you loved. You met amazing people. You learned a legitimate skill. You have stories that nobody else has. And yeah, you're forever known as the guy who gives smooth finishes. But you know what? You own it now. You've got professional surfboard waxer smoothest finish on the North Shore in your Instagram bio. You sell custom wax jobs online. You've turned meme status into an actual career. And sometimes, late at night, you think about that original video. About how a random bachelorette party making jokes while you did your job literally changed the trajectory of your life. About how you went from spreadsheets in San Diego to viral fame in Hawaii to now running your own surf wax business. About how the most embarrassing moment of your life became the best thing that ever happened to you, in a weird roundabout way. You still get DMs from people asking for smooth finishes. You still get comments on every post about your technique. You still cringe sometimes when you read the innuendos. But you also get messages from people who genuinely want to learn about board care, from surfers who respect your skill, from people who followed your journey and think it's cool that you turned a meme into a career. So that's it, everyone. The completely true, only slightly embellished story of how you became the viral smooth finish surfboard waxer of Hawaii and learned that sometimes the most embarrassing moments lead to the best opportunities. If you enjoyed this wild ride, absolutely demolish that like button. Share this with your friends who need to hear about bizarre career paths, and subscribe if you haven't already, because we've got more insane stories coming. Thanks for watching, and remember, Own your weird, embrace the awkward, and if you're going to be known for something ridiculous, you might as well make money from it. See you in the next one, and may your finishes always be smooth. Or maybe not. That might be better, actually.